Hello, everyone. Welcome to Amanda's InspirationStation.com. My name is Amanda, and thank you so much for joining me for this week's Weekly Wednesday. Today is November 16th already. I'm having a hard time believing that next week is Thanksgiving. I think that's kind of crazy. So, yeah, there's that. Although I live in southern Wisconsin, and today it snowed for the first time. So, it looks very pretty out there. So, all right. So today we're going to make some easy Christmas cards today. And we are actually going to use the stamp set, two actually, Vintage Christmas, which is found on page 63 of your mini catalog, the July through December mini catalog. But we're going to use the sayings on the outside of the cards for these. But on the inside, I chose different sayings, and I chose them from the Christmas to Remember stamp set. And this is found in the annual catalog. So we're going to, like I said, make some easy Christmas cards. Now, the paper, the designer series paper that we are using is actually a returning favorite from last year's mini catalog. And if you give me a minute here, I'm going to find the name of it because I don't remember. Here it is. So it's the Painted Christmas Designer Series paper, right? No. Yes. Yes, it is. I'm right. So we're going to do that. And what's nice about this stamp set too is that the bottle punch works for this stamp set. Now, this stamp set is in the mini catalog, but there is another stamp set that is in the annual catalog. And that one, let me just grab that really quickly to share with you. That's called Bottled Happiness. So here's the one that's found in the annual catalog, and that's the one where the punch comes. You can purchase it as a bundle. And then in the mini catalog, we came out with this one, which is Vintage Christmas, and this punches this as well. So it's very versatile and wonderful to use. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to get started with this one first. I'm going to set this one aside. So my card base is Garden Green, and it's just a normal size card base. Well, the most popular one. I don't really want to say normal. 5.5 by 8.5. And you can score it at 4 1/4. Or you can just fold it in half like this. Either way, I would use your bone folder to press in that crease right there to make your card flat. Now, in the link below, there is a section under this video that can take you to my free printable project sheet for those of you joining me for the first time. Every Wednesday when I come on here, I do have printable project sheets. It'll show colored copy pictures of the projects that we do. It'll give you a supply list and the measurements. And then the video today is actually your class. It's actually your how to do it. So, and if you like this video or you like these projects, I would love for you to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're not a YouTube subscriber of mine, I would love for you to hit that red button, that big red button that says subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. Okay, so we have two pieces of cardstock here that measure the same. They both measure 4 by 5 1/4. And what we're going to do is we're going to place, the white is actually going to be on the inside, and then the cherry cobbler is going to be the first layer on the front of the card. And then we have our designer series paper. This measures at 3 3/4 by 5. And then we have our scallop contour dies. I love these dies. This is the second to largest scallop contour die. And we're going to do that too. So let's look on the inside here. Let's do some stamping first, actually. So we need to stamp the inside of the card. We're going to set that aside. And then we also need to stamp the two bottles here. And I just realized, do I not have a scrap piece of, I need a scrap piece of Pear Pizzazz. I don't know why I don't have that, but, well, let's do this. Where is my Pear Pizzazz? Oh, I don't even have, give me a second here. Here we go. I found one. It's kind of a big, look at this. I must have been trying to do a project. So we're going to use this scrap piece of paper here. All right. And actually, oh, you guys, look at that. It's not even Pear Pizzazz. It's soft saffron. Or I mean, soft sea foam. There we go. But we are going to stamp it with Pear Pizzazz. I swear, I know what I'm doing today. I do. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with our inside first. We're going to do, May This Be Christmas. May this be a Christmas to remember and cherish. And we're going to use that in Cherry Cobbler. So I'm going to get that out. And we're just going to stamp the center like that. Perfect. That was pretty easy. I'm going to leave the Cherry Cobbler out though, because we need to now do the top part, Making Spirits Bright. But we also need the Garden Green, because we're actually going to stamp the small little bottles, I guess is what you want to call it. And we're going to stamp them right directly on this piece. Now, I do want to say though, I'm going to pull out my piercing mat. The reason why I'm going to do that is because this is a photopolymer stamp set. And sometimes when you stamp photopolymer stamp sets, the centers don't get, they don't fully look like they're inked. And they just need a little bit more cushion. So if you actually use your piercing mat, and that gives it the cushion to actually make it so that it stamps the entire image. So I want to stick within the stitches here. So I'm going to do one over to the left, and I'm going to do one over to the right here, just like that. And we're actually done with the Garden Green, so I can pull that out. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the Making Spirits Bright. And I'm going to just put that up in the center like that. But now we need to do our bigger bottle. And that's for this scrap piece that I grabbed here. And we are going to do Pear Pizzazz on top of the soft sea foam. So I'm just going to kind of stamp it like that. Just like that. And then I'm going to take my bottle punch, and we're just going to punch it through. Okay. Just going to punch that through. Okay. There we go. And we don't need that anymore, because now we're going to put our card together. So we have all the pieces together, and we are going to need a linen thread bow. So before we even do that, let's get out my bow maker and get out my linen thread. Now I made this bow a double bow. So I'm going to double up my piece of linen thread. And for those of you who have a bow maker, I'm going to wrap this around the back. And whatever piece is on the top, I'm going to tuck under and between the pegs. So now it's in the back. And now I'm going to bring it forward through the pegs. And with that, I'm just going to then tie it in a knot right here like this. I'm going to tie it tight. And then I'm just going to snip that off. This gives me a double bow, just like that. So now we have that. All right, so let's put our card together. We're going to use just our regular Stampin' Seal. And let's put our inside in first. Doesn't matter which order you go in by any means. So I've got that on the inside. And then I'm going to place my Designer Series paper on top of my Cherry Cobbler piece, like that. And then I'm going to, and this is all flat. I'm not popping up anything right now. Actually, the only two things I'm going to pop up on the card with my dimensionals is going to be the bottle, the center bottle, and it's going to be this. So I'll go ahead and I'll put my dimensionals on the back of the bottle here. And I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to put my dimensionals on here. These are easy Christmas cards with easy measurements. I really find these measurements are easy. So I'm going to flip this over and we're just going to kind of center that over like that. And then we'll flip this over. And we'll go like this. And then we're going to center this on the card. because I like to see the designer series paper around. I'm going to bring out now my mini glue dots because that's how I'm going to adhere my linen thread bow. I'm just going to put that on the center there, and I'm going to put that right there. And then I have these wonderful rustic metallic adhesive back dots, and I'm going to do 2 of them. I'm going to take a larger one right here, and then I'm going to take a small one, and I'm going to place that right there, just like that. And there you have it. There is your first card. Very easy. And I love the colors. I love the colors. This designer series paper is truly one of my favorites. So I was really excited when I saw that it was going to be a returning, because it originally was in last year's mini catalog, and then it was a returning one for this year. So yay. So again, we're going to do the same cardstock. So we're going to do garden green, cut it 5.5 by 8.5, score it at 4 1/4, which you can see that I did score this one. We're going to use our bone folder to varnish in that crease. Now with this one, we have a little bit different measurements. We still have our center basic white, 4 by 5 1/4. But with this one here, we have Pear Pizzazz, and this one measures at 3 3/4 by 5. So it measures the same measurement as the designer series paper here. So we're going to place that in the center. I wanted to do it a little bit different so I could see more of the garden green border. And then we have this piece of designer series paper, and this one measures at 2 3/4 by 5. So it's going to be the same length as this one, and we're just going to bring it over a little bit so that you can still see a little bit over here, because then we're going to off center this so that it kind of accents the designer series paper. So let's go ahead and let's do the stamping first like we did last time. So we need our center. This time our center is a little bit different. It's not, it's in garden green. It's not in the cherry cobbler. And we're going to do the saying that says, friends like you make this season special. So there's that. We'll set that aside. And then for this one, we're going to do this bottle, which is the same bottle that we did with the Pear Pizzazz. So I'm going to clean I do want to clean this off. And I'm going to kind of stamp off. Because see how it does that? You kind of want to make sure that you're stamping until there's nothing left to come out. Then you know you got all of the ink off. But I'm going to set that aside for a second and get out my cherry cobbler. And I'm going to bring back my piercing mat. Now notice I didn't do a piercing mat for these stamps, but that's because these are our cling rubber stamps. So there's already a pad on there. They're not our photopolymer stamp sets. All right, so I'm going to just stamp right in the center like that. Perfect, looks beautiful. And we're not going to need this cherry cobbler anymore, so I'm going to get rid of that. And then we are going to use the garden green though, because I do have the little saying here, a very Merry Christmas to you. And I'm going to do that right up in the top here, just like that. All right, and I don't need that anymore. So we're gonna now put our card together. So let's place the designer series paper on our front of our cardstock first. And sometimes I do feel that I get just a little smidgen, there we go, just a little tiny bit over. All right, so now for the back of this, instead of this going on flat, I am going to use my dimensionals to pop this up. So we'll just go like that. Isn't this cute? I love this. I love how easy these cards are, especially for Christmas, because, you know, Christmas cards, especially if you're making a lot of them, you want to be able to kind of pump them out in a, you know, you don't want to spend an hour on one card. You want to be able to make some Christmas cards, maybe make 4 different designs, make, you know, 20 of each or whatever you do. And then, you know, you can, what I like to do is it more like an assembly. So do all your cutting first, do all your stamping, and then you can pump them through to put them together. And I already have a bow here because I showed you how to make one. So for the sake of the video, I had one already made. So we're going to put that on this one. And then we just need these, our rustic dots, and we're done. I mean, it's that easy. So I'm going to use a little one up here at the top. And then I'm going to do another big one down here and another little one right there. There you have it. You've got layers. You've got embellishments, 2. You've got stamping. You've got height, designer series paper. And look at how nice these cards are. They don't take a long period of time. You also get to use a punch. So these are the cards. Aren't they cute? I love them. I don't know why this one looks, maybe it's because it's drier or maybe it's because I inked it. I don't know. I gotta say I like this one better, the way this one turned out. Maybe I did use soft sea foam on that, but doesn't it kind of look brownish? I don't know. I like this one better. All right. If you guys like these projects, please click like. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to see some videos. Every Wednesday I come on here, or if you like the projects that I do. And I will see you guys next week for Weekly Wednesday, which will be the Wednesday right before Thanksgiving. Again, crazy. Turkey Day is next week. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Thanks for joining me. Bye.